I'm back, bitches. No, I'm kidding. So I haven't had any power since like Friday at 5. So I'm sitting here watching a video and the power goes out. And I'm like, oh great. Some fucking idiot probably, because of the rain and the wind, idiot probably crashed into a fucking one of the power, the poles out there. So I got my boots on and everything. Went outside. Yeah, it wasn't a person. It was a whole goddamn tree. So I'm like, fuck. It's gonna take a while. And honestly, I was expecting it to get turned back on like Tuesday or Wednesday or something. But I went out the person who had the tree on their property, it was their tree. He was out there earlier, like at 6 o'clock last night, and he was, chainsawing all that, trying to cut it up a little bit. I was out there helping him, and he said something about, yeah, they're because they have to thread a new line anyway. They're just gonna work over the tree. I'm like, oh, well, that's good. But and then I got one of the guys that a guy came up and he was helping as well, and he's like, yeah, I called Duke Energy and now I just went off on them because it's like me and my grandpa have medication that needs to be refrigerated and the power's still fucking out. Um, he's like, but they said that it should be on by 12 o'clock, 11:45 tomorrow, which is today now, Sunday. And when I got home, my roommate said the same thing. He's like, oh yeah, it should be back on by tomorrow at 12, by midnight. Again, this was yesterday, Saturday, so it's Sunday at midnight, or rather 11:45 on Sunday. But I woke up at like I don't know, 2:45, and I heard the beep, 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 and I saw the lights. I'm like, yeah. So I just pretty much stayed up, and I think when I woke up, I was up for maybe 20 minutes. Then everything came back on. So it's like you don't appreciate electricity until you don't have it. I mean, the internet's one thing. I could, as nice as the internet is, I was able to, it's not that big of a deal because I still had ways of using it, but no power at all. I mean, for the past 3 days or so, I've just been sleeping, but it's been hard because I need my fan to fall asleep. I need sound, and having the window open, there's really still not much sound out there to fall asleep to. So it's just, you know, you don't appreciate it until you don't have it. It's like refrigeration. You have food that needs to stay good, by refrigeration. You know, a washer and dryer, being able to piss with the lights on, you know, stuff like that. Being able to do something as simple as charging your phone. I was actually in the bathroom. And I'm like, you know what? How much would a landline be? Because this is exactly why people should still use landlines. Because even when power goes out, you can still use your landline. Because landline phones only need the smallest bit of electricity. So there's enough electricity going through. So, I'm sure you guys all, if you're old enough, power's gone out and your parents are like calling your neighbors and like, oh, power out over there for you guys. And this was back when no cell phones. You'd have your landline and you'd call your neighbors and family and whoever else. Like, do you guys have power over there? So it's it's like some people, especially if you live in an area like I do, where it seems like the power constantly goes out. And it's not because of weather, and most of the time it's because fucking people bashing into poles. I just love how every time the power goes out, it's always over here. It can never be the front of the town or in the back. No, it's always over here. When some asshole gets drunk or falls asleep behind the wheel and crashes into a pole, It's over here. The fucking tree falls over. Nowhere else in town was any trees toppled. No, the tree falls over, gotta be over here. Every fucking time. You know? So, um, but the guy who came over, he said that said the town really, when he went to town, it wasn't even that bad. That all the people went to New London. It's like, yeah, they had like 20 people in New London. He called them and he's like, well, there's 900 people in New London that need our help. Like, well, why not just come here first? This is like the simplest job. All you just gotta do is thread a new fucking wire and that's it. Why not do the easy one first and then you can take care of everything else? And apparently people were like, yeah, there was like 20 fucking trucks, but only 2 of them were actually doing anything. So it's like, oh, it's like you see with like construction workers, you'll see a bunch of trucks and a lot of people, but most of them are just standing around. They're like pointing to stuff and like, just making it look like they're doing something when they're really not. So, whew. But I was surprised. Actually, when I woke, like I said, when I woke up, it was like 2:30, 2:45 or whatever. I'm like, wow. I was expecting it to. Well, then again, I did have a feeling it was going to be on tonight. I'm like, it says to by tomorrow. I'm like, I don't think it's going to be the case. I think it's going to be on sooner than that. I had a feeling as soon as like I got home. I'm like, you know what? I have a feeling it's going to be on tonight. Like I'm going to wake up tomorrow and things are going to be on. Well, I was awake. So I was awake and I'm just sitting there looking outside. You can hear them talking. You can see the light from the truck shining in, and obviously all the power's out, so the light from their trucks was the only light that was shining out there. Um, just huh, notice. Do we never have lights in the back? Awkward. I'm sure we have lights back here. Hang on. I swore we had street lights on back here. Curious. Um, but yeah. I mean, every time the power's gone out, it's been out like during the summer where it's fucking hot and there's no fan, no AC, but it's been like right now I think it's like 53 degrees out. So when I came back in at like 7:30, it was like maybe 62. So, well, yes, I was a little hot because obviously like I said, I was helping out with that fucking tree outside. As soon as I got in here and sat down and relaxed, everything cooled down. Things got colder outside. Um, Even during the day, it's I mean, it wasn't really bright today. It was still kind of dark-ish. It was dark in the morning, and then it got a little sunny out, and then kind of got dark again. I was like, oh, it's gonna probably rain. But normally when the power goes out, like I said, it's usually hot out, and I'm laying here and I'm absolutely miserable because it's like I don't want to go out because it's fucking hot out, but I don't want to lay here because it's fucking hot out, and it's hot in here. But here I was perfectly fine. It was just the silence. I'm like I can't do the silence. I can't. I need sound, and I was gonna wanting to play stuff on like my computer, but it's like, well, it's not the power's not in, so I can't do that. I didn't want to do stuff on my phone because I couldn't charge it because the power was off. So it's like there's no sound. I could have just gone down to Dollar General and just kind of stayed in there for a little bit and listened to the music there. Um, God, landlines, people. We should bring them back. Every house should have a landline. But we're so close together here that most people are like, "Yeah, is your power out?" Yeah, it's out. But that fucking tree over there, though. I mean, it wasn't. He did. I mean, we got a lot of it done to the point where you could see the car that's underneath that got crushed. I mean, luckily no one was hurt before anyone wonders. No one was hurt. The whole family's fine. The dog that's over with Blue and with Eli. The dogs Blue and Eli. Everyone's fine. No one was hurt. Um, but and luckily enough, the branches aren't on that tree aren't very large. They're pretty thin branches, so cutting them up isn't. It didn't take him very long to cut up a lot of it. Um, but now he has the difficult problem of once he cuts off enough branches, the way the tree is, it's gonna just like snap back into place. And then when it does that, there's a possibility of it going the other way and smacking into the house. So there's like the clumps of, dirt and land on it where he's got to kind of get that off. So he's got to make it lighter. So basically, when he cuts off the branches, it's not going to snap back into place. Because otherwise, it's going to snap back and just go the other way. And then it's going to just crash into the house. I mean, because the trunk isn't that big, but it's, big. It's not long, it's big. So he said if he doesn't have a way to get all that dirt and clod off and all that, he's just gonna have to kind of leave it the way it is. Leave the tree there, or you know, figure something out because he doesn't want to risk cutting more branches and then having it just going the other way because it's just pretty much bent. It's out of the hole in the ground because of it, but once those branches are cut, it's just gonna go flying back the other way. So he's gonna have to figure something out. Like I said, he's gonna have to get the dirt off because that's the heavier part. That's what's gonna force it back. But he needs to get that dirt and whatever off the roots and all that, so that way. But yeah, I woke up in the morning thinking, oh, we're gonna hear uh chainsaws and nope. I mean, he didn't go out there till like 6 o'clock. So, and I'm like, what the fuck? They said they asked the fire department. They didn't fucking do anything. Even though that's their fucking job, to clear up the roads with that kind of stuff. Um, so I went outside and I saw him. I'm like, hey, do you need help? So I started helping him. There was only one chainsaw, so I really wasn't able to do much. I just kind of moved stuff out of the way and, helped him with got him the diesel for his machine. So it's not like I was out there like, I wish. But everyone else is just standing there watching him. And I'm like, I'm going to go over there and fucking ask if he needs help. Because the sooner we get this out of the way, the better it's going to be. Because you got all these fucking idiots speeding down the road thinking that it's open when there's a giant fucking tree in the way. So the sooner we get this done, the better. So people are fucking stupid. I thought it would be all hands on deck kind of thing, because if you have 2-3 people out there with fucking chainsaws, that shit would have been cleared up in like an hour. Like I said, the branches aren't very thick. You could just do just like all straight down, just cut like 3 through like 7-8 branches all at once. But no. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, I wish I had a fucking chainsaw or some kind of just like, go. And I was thinking, I'm like, let me just go outside and just start fucking snapping them then. Snap, throw, snap, throw. I'm like, at least that's still making progress. Not the first time I've had to deal with fucking trees. Like I said, the one time I showed you guys with the fucking branch, that huge fucking branch that fell into the road. I'm like, someone's got to move it. Someone's got to move it because you're gonna have people speeding down through this back way, and there's gonna be this fucking branch in the road, and they're not gonna see it. So there it was, storming, windy, tons of fucking rain. I'm out there with my fucking umbrella. I'm lifting this fucking branch that was about this thick around and probably about 20 feet long. I'm lifting this thing up with one fucking hand and having to drag it to the fucking side of the road so that people can fucking go through. I'm like, what the fuck? Shady, dirty dealings. Um, but as you can see, power's back. Um, Electricity. Glad we have it. Anyways, that's gonna do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.